Yo guys, what's going on? It's Adam, and we are here with a different kind of video. So I'm making this video, one, for those who may have forgotten bits and pieces of the story along the way during this series, and two, also just to recap the story of HUE and to open up the discussion for anybody who's interested in this game. Now, what will follow is a video which strings together all the messages that HUE receives in chronological order. And with that being said, let's go ahead and unravel this story again, one message at a time.
Dearest HUE.
So we got a note here.
Oh, I've had the most dreadful luck. I feel terrible that you've been left alone all this time. The traitorous Dr. Gray tried to steal the annular spectrum, a ring I developed to allow perception and alteration of colour. Some call them impossible colours. Impossible for Dr. Gray, maybe. Anyway, something went wrong. I turned a strange shade and became invisible. The ring, it fractured, scattering coloured shards far and wide. I stayed at home for many weeks, watching, waiting, existing on this coloured plane. I couldn't speak to you, nor interact with anything in the mono world. So I left. I left for the university where I hid away the coloured tools I had created.
Okay, we got somebody typing out this message, I guess.
Left of the ring.
Looks like we have another note.
Since the beginning, we have pointed to the sky and declared it blue. It is this shared vision, this unquestioned understanding which connects us. But are you really seeing blue the same way I see it? Perhaps blue is nothing more than a shade of grey to you. Perhaps everyone in this world sees nothing but shades of grey. Don't you see, HUE? This is why we're here. When you enter a cave expecting a waterfall, the chances are your expectations will be met. But if you discard those expectations, don't you think instead the cave will be full of surprises? I ask for you, HUE, to abandon your expectations, to pull me back from the brink of unreality. I need you to see the world not for what it is, but for what it can be.
Alright, got another note.
Did you know, HUE, that purple is at the very end of the visible spectrum? It's the hardest colour for our eyes to distinguish. Now, imagine a shade one step further than purple, a colour beyond what we can actually perceive. We call these impossible colours. And I fear that this is where I currently reside. If reality is rooted in our perception, and you cannot perceive me, do I even exist to you? I'm sure that I do. I mean, you're reading this letter, or at least I hope you are. I'm sorry, but existing in this strange state of impermanence does funny things to you, HUE. It makes you question what is real.
And I love it when you're reading through these messages, they just give you very easy platforming to do to sort of keep you entertained while you read this message.
Summer had come and gone, and a cold autumnal crispness had caught me off guard. I sat on the grass, surrounded by my books and papers, when a cool breeze threatened to blow my notes across the lawn. A page escaped my reach and took flight. A man not much older than myself chased after it, catching it on his third or fourth attempt. I remember his gentle smile when he returned it. He started talking, and I was surprised that he had read my work in the university journal. He said he was a professor and that he hoped we could work together someday. It's funny, HUE, how something so small can change so much.
Another note.
Dr. Gray soon became my assigned mentor, and
Yep.
I can't help but feel he somehow had a hand in it. Our fires burnt brightest when we worked together. It felt like we could achieve anything. We discovered more about colour than I could ever have imagined. We split light, mapped spectrums, we painted, we laughed. We worked long hours, and soon our goal became all-consuming. We were vessels. The work became more important than us, and we knew it.
Another new message. So here, let's see what Mom has to say.
It's funny. I don't remember much after that day on the grass. I do know that Dr. Gray and I spent many a time together. I would compliment him on his work and his cheeks would flush with a pinkness. He'd notice and change the subject, embarrassed. This work we were doing together, it didn't feel much like work anymore.
So from these beginning messages, we're introduced to two characters, Hugh's mom and Dr. Gray. It seems Hugh's mom had developed this ring which allowed her to alter the perception of color, which is of course the tool that we're using as HUE to navigate the puzzles in this game. We learned that Dr. Gray destroyed it and sent her into a world which she could not communicate with HUE anymore. Now also at this point, Hugh's mom sets up the story with a flashback telling us that her and Dr. Gray actually worked together on this ring and that they became intimately close through their work. This game enough.
Did you know, Hugh, that every language first has a word for black and for white, for dark and for light?
I did not know.
The first colour described afterwards is always red. The colour of blood and wine, the colour of anger. The anger I felt when I was told my experiments had gone too far. When Dr. Gray sided with the university, stopping my research altogether. For all our languages, for all our ways to communicate, it's funny how sometimes we simply cannot. It leads people to do things they regret, to steal, to break, to forget what is important.
Okay, another message.
Once a seed has taken root, it doesn't take long for it to grow, to nurture and blossom into something beautiful. The seed of knowledge was planted in my mind, and I wasn't prepared to let it wilt and die. The university claimed my experiments were unethical, that altering the fabric of our reality was dangerous. They were unflinching. My research was confiscated and my contract terminated. Following my expulsion, I was left with no choice but to uproot and move us both far away. I knew of a small fishing village a boat ride from the university, where I hoped my reputation wouldn't precede me. You and I moved into a humble home, which is now where you spent most of your childhood.
Color bar.
Do you recall those dusty old tomes that used to sit on my desk? The ancient scriptures of civilizations lost. I spent hours poring over them, searching for clues to support my research. Aside from their wonders, one thing stood out above all else. Blue, or specifically the absence of it. Other colours were detailed at length, but not blue. It was never mentioned at all. The word simply didn't exist. Could they not distinguish blue? Without a word to describe it, how can we be sure they could see it at all? Spring was around the corner. Yellow daffodils poked through the dirt in our backyard. As time moved, my resentment slowly slipped away. I continued my research from home. Without Dr. Gray, work was slow, but I still made progress. One day, Hugh, when you were sleeping, I watched over you. I was on the cusp of a breakthrough, and you were the last person left to see it. I was so excited for the both of us.
And a new message. Let's kick it off.
My research led me to tales of a long-lost civilization. They built great machines, pioneering electricity many years before we discovered it.
Very cool.
Strangely, though, this civilization is said to have felt no pain. They knew of pain and observed it, yet could not experience it themselves. Explaining to them the sensation of pain is like me explaining colour to someone that can only see in black and white. I wonder, Hugh, if we will be able to share in our experiences of colour.
Okay, and so at this point we are still in this flashback period, and there are two main things that we learn about. The first is that Hugh's mom discovered long-lost civilizations that pioneered electricity, among other things, far before the current generation. Now, they were apparently not able to perceive the color blue, and they also didn't feel pain. Now, I'm really curious why this is part of the story, and the only other characters that we see that may fit into this part of the story are the skeletons. Are they this lost civilization? You can actually see the skeletons on the title screen of the game, so I can't imagine they're just kind of included for fun. Also, by the way, props to DJ for noticing this as well. Yeah, buddy, DJ. The second main point in this section is that Hugh's mom was fired from the university because, along with the university, Dr. Gray determined her experiments to be unethical. And so she moved Hugh and herself away to a small home in a fishing village where she continued her research in private. I'm actually going to change it to one solid color though. Oh, guess I can't.
The first time I wore the ring,
Let's hear this message.
I could see a coloured image of the sun. Aqua, purple, orange, pink, red, blue, yellow and green. Great fireworks played out across the backdrop to my reality. Was I dreaming? Was I alive? My senses dulled from a lifetime of monotone, struggled with the revelation. Time eased. Colours danced in slow motion, like Pollock painting a ballet on the moon. I removed the ring and time slipped back to normal. Colour dissolved into grey. It was overwhelming. But what followed affected me the most. After seeing in colour for the first time, when everything returned to normal, I could remember in colour. I had never before had a coloured memory.
Let's go take a look. New message, all right.
The more I experienced, the more I realised how little I was experiencing. Seeing the world in true colour was not true at all.
Actually,
The
I need to
goalposts
stand
had
still
been
here
moved
for a
little
second.
further down an infinite playing field. These shades, they are a paradigm away from what I could ever imagine. And yet, how much more there must be? Is there ever such a thing as true reality, Hugh? Does truth exist in our minds the same way that colour does? Maybe next I'll stumble upon a third dimension. Could you imagine?
Goodbye.
A tree stands in the woods, and nobody is there to see it. Does that tree exist?
Of course it does. Look at
Does
this,
it
gorgeous.
have colour and form?
Snow around the
Does
trees.
it matter? This journey has been difficult, Hugh, and whilst I have trodden a lost, winding path, I feel no closer to the truth I was after. No matter how long you chase the moon. If truth does exist in our minds, then I feel there may be one that I have neglected. All this time, you've been alone, and now uprooted, on a journey for my cause. For what? So that I could see the world a little clearer? I do hope, in the end, it was worth it. For both of us.
Okay, so we are still in this flashback period, and the overall theme here is that once this ring was complete, Hugh's mom could navigate the world by altering the perception of color. She experienced life in a new way. Life changed, and she could remember it in color. At the same time, though, it seems like her thirst for knowledge was too severe, and not quenched by this newfound experience. No matter how long we chase the moon. I love this quote. You know, sometimes in life we pursue things and we create goals in order to convince ourselves that afterwards we will be happier, or life will be better somehow. I could tell you from first-hand experience that this is not always the case, and this resonates so well because, you know, those goals can often lead you to leaving behind the things in life that are truly important, like how Hugh's mother neglected how her cause would affect her child. New message. What's up, Mom?
Being back at the university has surfaced many memories, Hugh. I remember taking you to lectures. You would crawl to the front of the hall when I wasn't paying attention. Dr. Gray would look down from his lectern, and all his seriousness and authority would wash away. He would pick you up, walk over, and return you to my arms with a smile. Love cannot be measured, Hugh. Like
Newton.
colour, it exists inside of us.
Yeah, there's an apple on his head.
I
I like
buried
that.
it. I buried the love that I had for my own ends. I hope after all this, you will see my mistakes for what they are. Yours lovingly, Mum.
I'm willing to bet this is an important message. Let's see.
Dearest Hugh,
What?
it has been too long.
A male's voice?
You have grown so much. Your mother, I tried to warn her. I thought that exiling her from the university would protect her, would protect you. She did not understand that some people choose not to see. I never stole the ring from her, Hugh. I tried to destroy it, before it destroyed her. I now know she had it under control. She knew what she was doing. My intervention shattered the ring, altering your mother's very fabric. My only reprieve is that you were able to follow in her footsteps, to experience her work firsthand. We do not see things as they are, Hugh. Instead, we see them as we are. Your mother, she has been waiting for you. I expect she will be thrilled to see how far you've come.
Guy finally took his hood off. Okay. Mom is waiting. What is he? So Dr. Gray wasn't trying to steal anything from her. He was trying to protect her by destroying the ring. But he said he altered her very fabric. Does that mean he... What does that mean?
Hello? Reunited at last? Oh, gorgeous music. Well, I'll be. Look who it is. It's wonderful to see you both again. I never doubted you'd find each other. You both look exhausted. Let me fire up the old vessel. I'll get you back to the village in no time. Okay. We are finally sleeping. Is that the end? That's gotta be the end. Wait, this is exactly how the game starts. Does it just toss you back in?
P.S.
Nope, okay.
You cannot always control what
New
happens
message.
to you, but you can choose how you see it. Now you can see true colour. You must decide if it is for better or worse. I hope after all this, it is for the better.
And so with the ending messages of the game, we are coming out of this flashback period. And we get the hint that Dr. Gray may actually be a father figure in Hugh's life. At the very least, we know that he and Hugh's mom once had an intimate relationship. Now we find out that Dr. Gray was also trying to destroy the ring in order to protect Hugh's mom. However, he didn't realize that she had it under control and that destroying it would actually exile her from the Mana world. And so throughout this game, Dr. Gray has been there every step of the way, watching as we uncover the fragments of this ring and make our way back to Hugh's mom. Now, both ending messages from Dr. Gray and Hugh's mom go hand in hand, and they contain a very powerful message. So from Dr. Gray we heard, "We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are." And from Hugh's mom, "We cannot control what happens to us, we can only choose how we see it." Now, these are such incredible messages, and they end the game with a take-home theme that should speak to anybody who plays or who watches this game. Many of the things that occur in life, or that happen to us in life, they will be shaped by who we are and how we perceive them. So, while things may not always go as planned, try to find the positive in it, and also remember what is truly important in life. HUE has been such a wonderful experience for me in terms of both gameplay and its storyline. Guys, I want to thank you for taking this journey with me, and I really look forward to experiencing a future series with all of you. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Yeah, buddy.